Sweet Links. After a rocky few months of adapting to life in Maplewood, a quaint town nestled by the lakeshore, Dr. Ilara Ellie Rivers finally felt like she was gaining some footing. After her travel papers were stolen while she was preparing for research in Thailand, she unwittingly found herself living with her sister and working at a local bookstore. Just when she thought she was destined for a life stuck in the basement, an unexpected opportunity arose. She was offered a teaching position in anthropology at Maplewood State University. Eager to dive into her new role, Ellie felt her heart race at the thought of her first class, even as anxiety gnawed at the edges of her excitement. She never expected to find herself feeling so out of practice after months away from academia, and juggling her anxiety levels felt like a monumental task. However, a week into the semester, things started to shift when she met someone who changed everything. After a calming yoga class, a reflective activity she had taken up to manage her anxious thoughts, Ellie decided to treat herself to something sweet. She paused in front of the local bakery called Sweet Cravings, taking in the inviting smells wafting from the warm interior. Just like that, her sweet tooth peaked. As she opened the heavy glass door, the delightful scents of cinnamon rolls, freshly baked bread, and chocolate wafted around her. A grumbling stomach reminded her of how much she enjoyed these treats. Deciding on her order felt like a monumental task. Should she choose a muffin, a cupcake, or maybe a nice slice of pie? Lost in her thoughts, she didn't notice the woman behind her until she heard a slight huff of frustration. In the reflection of the pastry case, Ellie saw a tall woman next to her, fit and athletic, with wind-tousled brunette hair tied back. She seemed in a rush, but it didn't deter her from wearing an expression of endearing charm. "Sorry about that. These lines can bring out the impatience in me," the woman muttered apologetically. Ellie turned and offered her a smile.
"No worries.
"You can definitely cut ahead if you're in a hurry." "Really? Thank you. I just need to grab a cake for a friend's birthday, and I'm trying to get back before the party starts." "Do you mind me being so pushy?" "Not at all. I might just be taking a little too long deciding anyway. It's my first time here, and this place smells amazing." With an appreciative grin, the woman quickly scanned the selection, her breezy demeanor melting away Ellie's apprehension. "You're going to love it. Everything here is fantastic, except their brownies. They're a bit too gooey for my taste." "Now that's fighting words," Ellie replied, laughing lightly. "I've always believed brownies can't be bad." "Really? How can any chocolate dessert go wrong?" The woman raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "I guess we'll see about that. Cookies, though, are hitters. Don't you think they should come with built-in moisture?" Ellie felt a flutter of amusement at her unexpected banter. "Oh, I completely agree. A dry cookie is a tragedy waiting to happen. What's your secret for a luscious cookie?" "Well, you have to manipulate the flour ratios right and whisk your ingredients together properly," the woman explained animatedly. "It's all about the surface area and moisture levels. Math really does play a role in baked goods." Ellie couldn't help but chuckle at how earnest she was, enamored by the conversation that felt surprisingly engaging. Next, the cashier snapped Ellie back to reality. "It's your turn," Ellie said, nudging the woman gently. "You're the one in the rush." "Thanks. Quick question, though. Do you mind if I order you a cookie and a drink too?" the woman quickly asked, glancing at the cashier. "Your choice." "Whoa, you're too generous, but I really couldn't," Ellie began, surprised by the kind offer. The woman's smile widened. "Consider it a pay-it-forward moment. Plus, you're going to love the iced matcha latte here. Trust me, it's worth it." Despite her hesitation, Ellie felt something spark within. "All right, if you insist." After placing her order, the woman picked up a lovely cake. The way her toned physique accentuated her movements caught Ellie's attention. "By the way, I'm Mia. What's your name?" "Ellie, and I'm glad I came in today. It's been a little hectic getting into the swing of things here." "Nice to meet you, Ellie. Mia said, her eyes gleaming. I'll definitely see you around. I teach biology at the university, and after hearing your wise thoughts on pastries, I'd love to trade baking tips sometime. Ellie felt a warmth bloom in her chest, caught off guard by Mia's genuine excitement. That sounds great. My family loves to bake. Mia held the door open as she prepared to leave. You were incredibly helpful. Next week, after your yoga class, let's grab coffee. I'd really like that, Ellie replied, trying to hide her surprise at the directness. Mia waved as she made her way outside, narrowly avoiding a group of patrons entering the bakery. In her wake, Ellie could hardly believe how seamlessly their conversation had transformed into an invitation. Are you ready for your order? The cashier interrupted, pulling her from her thoughts. Yes, what did I order again? Ellie said, laughing at herself. By the time she left the bakery, her heart was light. Chloe, her best friend and college roommate turned confidant, had been trying to encourage her to open up more to new experiences, and now she sensed she might have just taken her advice. As Ellie walked back home, a delicious iced matcha latte and a cookie in her bag, she considered the possibility of pursuing something new. She felt invigorated, inspired by her short encounter with Mia and the compelling chemistry between them. Later that evening, Ellie sat in her cozy living room, sipping her matcha and indulging in the cookie. She couldn't help but smile, wondering if coffee with Mia might end up leading somewhere exciting. With thoughts swirling in her mind, she grabbed her phone and sent a quick message to Chloe. Met a girl at a bakery today. Looking good for my social life. As the sun set outside, painting the sky with rich hues of orange and pink, Ellie felt the beginnings of hope forming. Whether it was the comforting taste of cookie or the warm connection she felt with Mia, she was slowly discovering that perhaps new beginnings could come with sweetness she had longed for, not only in baking but in life as well. End of part 1. Little did Ellie know, her pastry-picking encounters with Mia would lead to comfort, laughter, and plenty of shared adventures, carrying both of them through the intricate layers of navigating their connection. Would they craft a recipe for happiness together? Or would the apprehensions from Ellie's past threaten their chance for something truly special? One thing was certain, it was going to be one sweet journey through ups and downs, heartwarming moments, and growing love. The following week seemed to stretch on forever as Ellie anticipated her coffee date with Mia. She spent her evenings distractedly grading assignments and prepping her lectures, all while her mind drifted back to the bakery encounter. Every now and then, a grin would creep across her face at the memory of their playful banter about cookies and brownies. Finally, Wednesday rolled around, and Ellie found herself standing outside the local coffee shop, The Brood Awakening. She adjusted her sweater and took a deep breath, a mixture of excitement and nerves fluttering in her stomach. Would Mia still be interested in her? Would they have anything to talk about other than pastries? Pushing her apprehensions aside, she stepped inside. The bustle of the cafe surrounded her, the sound of coffee grinding, the chatter of customers, and the scent of freshly baked pastries wafting through the air. Her nerves started to ease as she scouted the cozy seating area, and there in the corner was Mia, already waving enthusiastically. "Hey Ellie, over here," Mia called, her bright smile illuminating the room. Mia," Ellie replied, her heart racing as she returned the wave. Mia looked relaxed, dressed in a fitted tank top and shorts, clearly ready to enjoy the day. "I'm so glad you made it," Mia said as Ellie approached the table. She hurriedly stood to pull out a chair for her. "I got us some pastries. Did you now?" Ellie raised an intrigued eyebrow. "Just a couple of blueberry scones. They look too good to pass up," Mia said, sliding a plate toward Ellie. "I hope you like them." Ellie picked one up, its warmth radiating in her palm. "I'm sure I will. Thank you for being thoughtful." As they took their first bites, An appreciative hum escaped Ellie's lips. These are delicious. You definitely have a knack for picking out treats. Mia laughed, her face lighting up with joy. I'll take that as a compliment. I feel like we're two culinary explorers. Definitely. It's a good life adventure, Ellie replied, her nerves slowly lifting as they chatted about their favorite meals and dessert disasters. After a few moments, Mia leaned forward, her expression transforming into that of genuine curiosity. So, tell me more about your experience as an anthropology professor. What do you love most about it? Ellie felt a surge of pride. Everything. Teaching isn't just about imparting knowledge, it's about sparking passion in students. I want them to critically think about the cultures and histories we study, as if they're connecting to the present. And with anthropology, they can, through understanding diversity. Wow, that's really inspiring, Mia said, her eyes lighting up as she listened intently. I've always admired your enthusiasm for your field. I'm sure your students appreciate you too. Thanks. I hope so. But how about you? What's it like teaching biology? Ellie asked, genuinely interested. Mia's eyes glimmered as she spoke about her love for the subject, the wonders of the natural world, and the thrill of helping students connect with the material. I just love sharing the intricacies of life with them. Every little process, from cells to ecosystems, has its beauty. Ellie was impressed by Mia's enthusiasm. As they discussed more about their teaching styles and shared anecdotes from their classrooms, Ellie felt the familiar warmth of connection beginning to blossom. After finishing their pastries, Mia casually suggested, "Want to take a walk down by the lake? The weather is perfect for it." "Absolutely. I'd love to," Ellie replied, feeling her excitement bubble as they left the cafe. The stroll along the lakeshore was breathtaking. The sun began to set, casting shimmering reflections on the water, and the autumn leaves crunched beneath their feet. As they walked side by side, the conversation flowed effortlessly, dipping and weaving between laughter and thoughtful discussions. "Did I mention that I'm a nature photographer?" Mia said, suddenly animated. "You didn't. That sounds amazing," Ellie exclaimed. "Are you showcasing your work anywhere?" "I've been thinking about it," Mia admitted, smiling shyly. "I tend to take more photos of the small details, the life in nature. You know, I hope to put together a little exhibit one day." "I would love to see that," Ellie said genuinely. "Art is an incredible way to express passion. You should definitely pursue it." Encouraged by her words, Mia smiled brightly. "Thanks, Ellie. I'll keep you posted when I finally kick my own behind to do it." With the sunlight dancing around them, they continued wandering down the lake, sharing bits and pieces of their lives, the ups, the downs, and everything that seemed like it carried a weight yet was thrilling to share. They came across a scenic bench overlooking the water. "How about we take a seat for a bit?" Mia suggested. "Nice choice," Ellie replied, grateful for a moment to absorb the beauty of their surroundings. Sitting on the bench, Ellie looked over at Mia, who was now contemplatively watching the sunset paint vibrant oranges and pinks across the sky. "Ellie," Mia said softly, her gaze still on the horizon, "I'm really enjoying our day together. I didn't expect to connect so easily." "I feel the same way," Ellie replied, feeling a flutter in her chest as she met Mia's gaze. "It's refreshing to meet someone who understands my passion and shares their own interests so openly." Mia turned to her, the warmth of the setting sun reflecting in her tawny eyes. "I'm glad. I noticed you're pretty passionate about history and culture. How do you think that shapes our understanding of the present?" Ellie pondered for a moment before responding. "I believe our past influences our choices today. Understanding history helps us navigate current issues and encourages empathy. We can can learn from our stories. Mia nodded, her expression serious yet intrigued. That's a profound take, Ellie. The way you think about these things really makes me want to explore more together. Maybe even collaborate. Collaboration sounds fun. I'd love to integrate some biology into a historical context for a project, Ellie offered enthusiastically. Perfect. I can see us blending our subjects seamlessly, Mia acknowledged, her excitement mirroring Ellie's. We just might create something extraordinary. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting everything in soft pastels, Ellie felt a genuine connection forming between them. There was something refreshing and invigorating about Mia's presence, her wit, passion, and humor. So, I hope we don't call it a day once the sun sets, Mia said playfully, nudging Ellie with her shoulder. Let's keep this spark going. I agree. I would totally like to continue this, whatever this is, beyond our first coffee and walk, Ellie replied, emboldened by her own words. Mia's eyes lit up. Great. How about we plan for another baking day? I can teach you some of my family recipes and we can make a big mess together. I'm in. Just give me a day to prepare myself for the flower explosions, Ellie teased. After watching the last traces of daylight vanish, they stood up, ready to head back, their laughter echoing in the cool evening air. As they walked back toward the coffee shop to collect their cars, Ellie felt lighter than she had in a long time. What began as a singular encounter transformed into something deeper, and Ellie was excited to continue exploring this new relationship. The more time she spent with Mia, the more it felt like opening a door to a world she had longed to step into but had only sat at the threshold. In the days that followed, Ellie couldn't shake the feeling that something special was blossoming between her and Mia. They set dates to bake together, shared ongoing conversations about their favorite subjects, and learned little quirks about each other. Ellie found herself opening up, allowing Mia to see facets of her personality that she usually shielded behind walls of anxiety. And with every moment spent together, her fears subsided, replaced by a burgeoning excitement at the prospect of what their connection could become. As the first sip of solid companionship grew between them, Ellie knew they were moving closer to something beautifully unpredictable, an adventure sweetened by each shared moment and every delightful experience they chose to create together. And for the first time in a while, Ellie began to feel that perhaps, just perhaps, some risks were worth taking after all. Days turned into weeks, and Ellie found herself increasingly caught up in her blossoming friendship with Mia. Their evenings of baking turned into spontaneous adventures around Maplewood, exploring the local farmers market, hiking through the nearby nature trails, and even stargazing at the lakefront in the late hours of the night. Each moment brought them closer, and with each new experience, Ellie felt more comfortable in her own skin. It was Friday afternoon when the sun shone brightly over the university campus that Ellie found herself preparing for another baking session. She had invited Mia over for a casual evening filled with their favorite sweet treats. Chocolate chip cookies and cinnamon rolls, who could ask for more? She mused to herself while arranging ingredients on the counter.